The church. Nori had just moved to Georgia and she loved her little apartment, but the only thing wrong was she hadn't found a church to attend in her small town. She was raised Baptist but could only find Catholic churches in her area. She knew she shouldn't be picky because if you listened to the Word of God, that was all that mattered. One Sunday night, Nori went for a drive around town to check out the sights and know where the shops were. While she was driving, she heard faint piano music coming through her car window. Nori followed the music down a dirt road and found a small church with its windows lit up. She decided to go in and listen to the sermon. Nori was welcomed by a lovely dark-skinned woman who ushered her to her seat. The church was full of guests and each person smiled at her, which made her very comfortable. The preacher stood up and gave a sermon about loving others even though they might not love you back. This stirred something deep inside her. His words filled her heart with life. Being half Korean and half African American, she never felt wanted by either race. But the words, love one, love all, rang in her ear. How can you love God if you can't love your fellow human beings? We are all from one blood, and that is the blood of Christ. After the sermon, Nori made a point to tell the pastor how much she enjoyed the service and how everyone seemed so nice and loving. She was welcomed with hugs and smiles on her way out of the door. Nori knew this was the church for her and she felt elated as she got in her car and went home. The next morning, Nori noticed her purse was missing. She checked the entire apartment but couldn't find it. Retracing her steps, she remembered leaving it on the pew when she went to meet the pastor. She knew it was a long shot, but she looked up the name of the church online and found the church schedule of the night before. There was no number on it, just the address and the preacher's name. Pastor King, it read, so she dressed quickly and out the door she went. Driving down the dirt road, she was astonished where the church once stood was now a lot with a huge memorial plaque in its place. Stepping closer, she read, "This is the memorial site, Galloway Baptist Church. Pastor King and 20 congregation members were gunned down on September 4th, 2011. His words and those who served under him will reign forever in our ears." Nori couldn't believe it. She walked back to her car in astonishment. Maybe she was in the place. She drove to the nearest library and checked the newspaper archives, and there in the black bold letter was the heading, "Pastor King of Galloway Baptist Church was gunned down along with 20 worshippers during his Sunday sermon by Frank Howard, a white man with unjustified cause, September 4th, 2011. Wiping her eyes, she walked solemnly back to her car, and on the front seat was her purse, good deeds from the afterlife. She closed her eyes and silently thanked the spirits. Nori never forgets the sermon, and on every 4th of September, she went to the memorial site to honor the fallen worshippers. Nori always made sure to spread love to everyone, no matter what race the person was, and the motto, "Love one, love all," stayed with her until she was called home.